Well, I think that's absolutely one of the tools that we have available, and Derek graciously gave me credit earlier for promoting other businesses. That's one thing we can do. There are a lot of things we can't do. Derek also talked about not being able to make this the next Silicon Valley. What we can do is promote each other's businesses aggressively, solicitously, continuously, right? Because it's all about eyes on. It's all about recognition. And that's part of what the Mutineer crew brought to the Calaveras County area when they came up, is that they have a wider ranging audience. And they did a great job of promoting Calaveras County and the products, specifically the wine products coming out of Calaveras County. That gives exposure to people who may not have had an opportunity to learn about them in the past. It doesn't necessarily equate to an instant sale that somebody's going to buy it right there on the spot. But what is the genesis of the relationship? And how long, what's the cycle? It can take some time. So part of what we're trying to do as a Calaveras Visitors Bureau board is utilize social media to effectively support the businesses in Calaveras County. And a huge component of that is the wine region, and specifically the Calaveras Wine Grape Alliance. So what we've done is we've considered that with everything we do as it pertains to communicating the brand and trying, you could tell I pitched Ashley that question, or that prompt, because I'm very much aware of it, that as soon as we assume people know too much about who we are and what we do, we're heading the wrong direction. Because the reality is, when I go as a volunteer for the Visitors Bureau and I stand in the State Fair booth every year, I am amazed at how many people who have never even heard of our region. I mean, it's not like they know who we are and they don't come here because they don't think it's intriguing or entertaining. It's that they flat out don't know who we are at all. And so we've got this great, and I like wine very much. I'm not worldly, but I've experienced wine from different parts of the world. And the Calaveras County product is exceptional. We have a terrific product out there, but people have to discover it on some level. And so we're working together, networking, and trying to do what we can to promote each other's businesses. Is that good?
Is this working?
Yes.
Okay. Something that Darrell didn't mention is that and he's actually been the catalyst for this, is getting all of the different businesses in Calaveras County, the network of our businesses basically through the Visitors Bureau, but also the Murphy's Business Association, the Chamber and Angels, and the CWA. Those, I think, are the largest groups, and they all work together to promote Calaveras County. He has set up and worked with all of the different agencies, meetings or little mini conferences on different types of social media, Facebook and Twitter and just email. I mean, it's even that basic email. His audience, he's got people that have no idea what Twitter is, and people that think that email is overwhelming. So the broad spectrum of knowledge it's a challenge, wouldn't you say?
Because of the range in knowledge that exists.
Yeah. So when we have these get-togethers, we have people that are learning at completely different levels, and so he, as the person that oversees this, has to speak to each of those levels, and he's done a great job. So one of the things that we wanted to bring to this conference is, it's a tough job to bring your community together because of the things that we've spoken about, but if you can learn from us, and prevail, it really does wonders. Our county and the businesses that are involved are so much more connected now because of social media. And it's not just, the 20s kids. It's, I hate to say it, but I'm a grandmother. I like to say that. But I'm in my 50s. I never dreamed that I would be where I'm sitting now. So for Calaveras County, social media has been a very, what would the force be called? A uniting force. We now see each other as one big group. And I think regionally, it serves us well. So when we go out into the world, or be it the world on the internet or geographically the world, we can speak so much more of each other than we could before because of social media. And I think that carries, it will carry us far. How far? These guys are more able to tell you, but that's what I've seen. I've seen us go from a group of people that are in wonder and don't know anything about social media to we're just constantly evolving and constantly learning. So what we'd like to see, for me, I think that doing a tweet up would be a great, that would be a goal to set for our group. And another thing, I don't know about the rest of you, but the YouTube seems like or video sharing seems like for us, we've gotten through the tweet, the Twitter, email, this type of thing, but the video sharing is a challenge, and I think I've seen the least movement in, and that would probably be on our agenda as well. So as we identify areas that are weak, we have Darrell and the rest of our panel that brings us further to learn more. And with that, I'll pass it back to you, Darrell.
You're very gracious, Nanette. I would also like to add that we've benefited from, we have a couple of companies in Calaveras County who are very active and do a terrific job in social media. You heard Steve Markle from ORS speak earlier. I really encourage, Greg wanted to maintain the 140 theme of not having any kind of presentations or PowerPoint or anything. I really wanted Steve to be able to show you one of OR's videos, and I encourage you to go to their site and watch the video. And as I mentioned earlier, Ashley's here from Bear Valley. Bear Valley Mountain does a terrific job with social media, and the two of those companies, both ORS and Bear Valley, have been very generous about sharing their expertise and working with the other groups that Nanette just mentioned, sharing the wealth, right? Because that's how it all works. And and I agree with Nanette 100% about video. Video is a huge attribute, as Steve mentioned. We all need to figure out how to tap into that and utilize it properly. And with OR's expertise and Lauren basically working almost full time on that, we're gonna take advantage of that. Alan, would you agree about video? I mean, perhaps not specific. You guys have utilized video a lot for what you do as well.
We're totally revamping our video platform right now. So we have about 50 new videos in the can that we're going to release starting next week. And video is awesome. There's not a better way to tell your story. It's taking advantage of everything and putting it all together. And it's pretty easy nowadays with the technology to edit and put out some high quality stuff. And especially if you invest a little bit in it, don't just buy a flip cam and assume that you're good. Get a mic for your flip, or buy a better camera, learn how to get better audio, invest a little bit in the process, and you'll get a lot more in return.
I think we had a question out there.
I have a quick question. I'm just curious, with ORS and Bear Valley being so successful with social media, do you think that it has anything to do with how cool of a product it is? I mean, the videos and stuff. I mean, people want to go see like rafting, and they want to see pictures of really cool snowboarding and what the conditions are like, and et cetera, et cetera. But like for a service industry such as a, insurance agent.
I think you're making a really good point, and so how do you make it cool, right? I mean, not all content that's posted on social media is specific to the entity, right? I mean, there are a lot of people who are really clever about posting interesting videos that may not even be related to their particular page, right? And so they gain viewership through that process. I think Ashley's going to chime in on this too. So your business may not be as exciting as a rafting company or the mountain, but that doesn't mean that you can't put up compelling, thought-provoking, and entertaining content on your site.
I just wanted to second that. I mean, everyone's trying to build a story. In the PR background, you're basically trying to create editorial for your client and then getting someone else to literally take what you've written and publish it. So it's really the same on social networks, and in various ways. But with video content, I mean, how many times have we watched videos that you can't believe you just watched 2 minutes of a cat, you know, fighting with another cat, or two babies, or a baby laughing at the father who's ripping up his, you know, I mean, things that I don't even know why I'm watching it, that aren't even that funny, you just are engaged by. And so there has to be something, I don't know what it would be offhand in the insurance world, that's engaging, or funny, or, you know, sad, or something. But there is something that can be said about any industry, and every industry for that matter, that has a story to be told. So you just have to find out what that is.
I think one of the things that we do in the wine industry, and I would think that this would be true in the insurance industry, is learn from the big guys. You know, look and see what the big guys are doing. I mean, look at Allstate. You know, that fella that's always their spokesperson. They have one person, and when you see him on the television,
The best
you know,
spokesperson in the world.
that's right. You know what he's talking about, and they use video as well. So that would be a suggestion from. I think that would be helpful is to look at the big guys and mimic them in your own small way.
Something. Check. Whatever. Hello. Look at Darrell here. He's got Golden State Cellular, and that's not an Oars, and that's not a Bear Valley. But beyond creating videos and doing Twitter updates, you can get involved in a leadership capacity and help be a person that helps bring these kinds of events together. So there's a lot of ways in the grand scheme of things in social media to create opportunities not only for your business, but be an active member of your community.
Which is a fancy way of saying have a plan, and I'm completely an advocate of that. And the other thing I would suggest, kind of as a component of your plan, and I believe Ashley would agree with me on this, you need to decide what your culture is going to be, and that needs to be consistent with everything that you put out there. You don't want to move around a lot. You don't want to, because not everyone's going to follow it. Like the entertaining, clever, funny videos, there will be people who are turned off by that, especially if it's an insurance company. But there will be other people who love it, right? So you need to decide which audience you want to go for and then stick with it and not try to straddle the fence and make everybody happy, because you never will. And so there is that consistent message. So when you're tweeting or you're posting on Facebook or any of your other sites, it should be consistent, and people, there shouldn't be so much variance that people are going, okay, Fred's obviously posting today and Tom's off. I don't agree with that. I think it should be very consistent and seamless when you're doing that. So if you don't have a big presence now and you're here today because you're thinking about developing one, spend some time thinking about that, the kind of company that you want to be. And if you're not a hip happening guy, then maybe that's not the image that you want to project. You want to project something that's going to be easier for you to do. I knew it. I knew she'd want to chime in.
Oh, well, no, just one quick thing, because you brought up a really important and valid point about consistency. One thing I find, especially after you leave something like this, everyone's excited and you want to talk about it and you want to jump in on all levels. Video, you know, Flickr, Twitter, Facebook, everything and anything, a blog, you know. I always tell people, start small and let it grow naturally. Start small and consistent. I work with quite a few wineries, and I say every Tuesday at 10 a.m., that's your time to post, or whatever works with them. And it makes them feel goal-orientated, so it's not just the weather is beautiful, exclamation point. You know, I mean, it's story-driven, and it's compelling, and it's consistent. So that's my suggestion, definitely.
Any other questions?
Is anyone in the audience involved in a group like we have in Calaveras? Is there anyone else here that has a similar situation? We're lucky. Can we invite them?
Sure, absolutely. We actually have a Calaveras social media group. It's a closed group on Facebook that any of you are welcome to join, and it's just an idea share. It's just networking and idea sharing is really what it consists of. How many of you are on that page now? I know there are several of you that are on that, and it's Calaveras social media. Yeah, I think it's beneficial, and again, it's easy. It's easy to share information. Great, thank you very much.